Here are 3 different price targets that I have for XCN in 2025, even though nothing I say is financial advice. My first price target is going to be 15 cents. And the reason why is because I think that XCN is very special. After all, Onyx coin, ticker symbol XCN, is the native token of the Onyx protocol. Now, what's so amazing about this? It's the fact that when it comes to this, it is a decentralized blockchain infrastructure that is designed to improve financial services. Now, why is this amazing? It's because this market right here, being focused on global trade and finance, more specifically, I would say, is on the rise. There's a lot of hype. Take a look at Ripple. People have forgotten all about the Gary Gensler nonsense, the SEC stuff. They believe in XRP as of right now. They love Brad Garlinghouse, quite essentially the quote-unquote leader, I would assume, when it comes to Ripple. Not to mention, you take a look at the Stellar blockchain. It's beginning to gain its recognition. They understand that, hey, the Stellar blockchain is lightning fast. It's absolutely fantastic, and they love XLM. Now, when I take a look at something like this, it's only fair to assume that eventually people are going to move on because people usually they get bored. Also, at the same time, people also usually want to look for the next big thing. And when people are focused on this whole space, when it comes to, again, XRP, XLM, it's only natural that a lot of the hype and attention eventually trickles down to other projects in this area, like for instance, an XCN. And again, I don't see why not, because this market is on the rise. And there's even data that showcases that this is actually the case, because the global trade and finance market is predicted to reach up to $5 trillion by 2028, according to Mordor Intelligence. Not to mention, the payments market is currently valued at over $2 trillion. So when you think about it, not only statistically speaking is this market on the rise, but not to mention as well, a lot of the FUD, again, when it comes to XRP, it's gone. And this is great because when people believe in XRP, they're going to believe in XLM, eventually XDC, and as well as XCN. So the way I take a look at it is that this is all great news when it comes to XCN. You know, it doesn't mean that XRP has to go down or anything like that for XCN to do well, but I think that this, of course, is kind of the leader in the market. And again, XCN, it kind of feels like the 4th iteration. And why not? The way I view it is that when it comes to a project like this, it's very special. People oftentimes, they say they missed out on the run when it comes to XLM, also when it comes to XRP. And if that is the case, then that is the case. There's nothing we can do about it. There's no time machine to go back in time. But you know what? Personally, for me, if let's say, hypothetically, someone did miss out on that, there's always something like XDC. And also there's always something like an XCN. So I don't think that it's totally game over at that point. Now, when it comes to XCN, despite it being, relatively speaking, somewhat a small project, because you take a look at the market cap, it is below $100 million. However, even besides that point, it's already listed in some real deal exchanges. Like, for instance, you take a look at Coinbase, you take a look at Kraken, KuCoin, Gate.io. When you take a look at these large-scale exchanges, not the random ones that we often see, they usually do their due diligence. They actually research about the project. They pay attention to the small details. And when it comes to Onyx, the fact that it's a project that it's quite essentially recognized as being somewhat good, I would assume, when it comes to these exchanges, because they do list XCN, I think that if anything showcases how it's a very special project. Again, some people think, oh, it's because it's small. That means the fundamentals are bad. That means the project is sketchy. But I disagree. I don't think it's sketchy at all. You know, if something like XCN is able to get listed on something like Coinbase, I think that if anything ultimately showcases just how special it is. Now, not to mention as well, if you take a look at Onyx, people like to say that, okay, it's kind of cookie cutter. It's focused on the same stuff that Stellar is focused on, Ripple. And in my opinion, who cares? If there's a proven formula, if there's something that actually works, and someone makes an iteration of that, like a version of it, why not? The way I take a look at it is that pizza tastes good. Yeah, sure, sometimes people put pineapple and whatnot, but the basic formula of a pizza is already good. So if it ain't broke, why fix it? It's like having the design of the wheel. There's quite essentially, in my opinion, not really many good ways to try to improve it. So why change it, if that makes sense? Would it make sense for some random pizza place to make a radical new recipe that no one really likes? No, I think there's no point. Have the basics. Pepperoni and cheese is my go-to, but even besides that point, the basic formula, when you take a look at the dough, you know, the topping, the sauce, it works. So why change it? Much like XCN, sometimes people like to say, oh, Onyx needs to be totally different to stand out. No, it doesn't. Take a look at, for instance, did Pizza Hut reinvent the pizza? Not really, but you know what? It's done very well. Why? Because people love pizza. Did Domino's reinvent the pizza, recipe? I don't really think so. Kind of tastes kind of the same actually with a bunch of other pizza places. But even besides that point, it's kind of like XRP. That's like a Domino's. XLM, it's like a Pizza Hut. The others, when I take a look at XDC, it's like a Papa John's. But when it comes to XCN, it's like Little Caesars. Nothing wrong with that. But in my opinion, hey, it's still a pizza place, and it has the basic formula: focus on global trade and finance, focus on the payments market. It's proven that people like this, and when it comes to XCN, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And seeing it go to the price of 15 cents during this run, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And now my next price target, or my second price target, I should say, when it comes to XCN, is going to be 20 cents. And this isn't crazy in my opinion, because if it were to go to this price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $6 billion. Not too bad. Now, people may think that $6 billion, that kind of sounds like a lot. And at first glance, it may seem like a lot, but in the world of cryptocurrencies, it's actually not that bad. We've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion. We've seen Shiba Inu reach around 40 billion. So I'm not talking about outlandish figures that has never been reached before. I mean, we've seen meme coins far exceed this. So I'm not talking about something too insane. At least that's the way I view it. And when I take a look at the amount of exchanges it's listed on, and also when I take a look at just how amazing the project is, and not to mention how passionate the community is, when it comes to XCN, what I like about it is the fact that even though it's not a meme coin, the community does feel like a meme coin type of community. Again, this isn't an insult or anything like that, but usually a meme coin, the community is very passionate because naturally the use case isn't the best, so it's a way to supplement that. But the crazy thing is, again, of course, XCN isn't a meme coin, but then it has the same drive and passion, the community, again, for the project. So this is a win-win situation, in my opinion. Fundamentally amazing project, but the community is very passionate, and I like that. It's not the biggest, but again, the passion is there. So when I take a look at something as special as this, reaching the price of 20 cents, that wouldn't surprise me at all. And my third and final price target is going to be XCN at the price of 25 cents, which people may think is crazy, but I don't think it's crazy, even though it is around a 90x from here, or should I say slightly over an 89x, but just again a 90x for simplicity's sake. Even despite that, I don't think it's all that crazy because I think this forum could be so special. There's more cryptocurrency owners than ever before in history, according to Crypto.com research, over 500 million. And also, you take a look at the number of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption, the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, not to mention as well the hype for the global trade and finance space. When it comes to projects that are focused on this, much like XRP and XLM, that's on the rise. So when I take all of those amazing factors into consideration, 25 cents, I just don't see why not. Now, how soon? And more specifically, why did I title this video 2025 price targets? It's because usually as a worst case scenario, altcoins, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. And 18 months from the last Bitcoin halving event, which happened back in April of last year, would mean actually October this year in 2025, which is why I made it, again, the title of this video. But people may think, okay, it may happen a little bit sooner, a little bit later. And that's true because this isn't a surefire date. History doesn't always repeat itself. However, it does tend to rhyme in some cases, which is why I think this is a good benchmark. Now, again, I'm not necessarily guaranteeing that it's going to peak exactly at like October of this year. But again, I think 2025, generally speaking, could be a very special year. We're seeing Bitcoin as of right now do very well, but it still needs to go to that next level of 150,000, 200,000, and maybe even beyond. So I think there's better days ahead, and I'm willing to stay patient. And in the meantime, what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be dollar cost averaging because that right there is my buying strategy. Anytime an income, acquire, hold, and I just wait, that's it. I like to keep things simple. And again, XCN at the price of 25 cents during this run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's only the captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.